Hey guys, what's going on? It is Dave, and this is another episode of What's Up, Dave. Today is part two, and it's actually a little bit behind. We are reviewing the Boat Lono Kayak. The model I have is the Bug Slinger. So we took it down the river over a week ago, and I never got to upload the video. It is actually uploading right now. Hopefully it'll be done before I get this video done. We took it down the Salt River, and overall it was great. It does inflate well. There are a couple of things I misspoke on. Number one, the biggest, probably the biggest pushback I would get is the kayak was not 3,000. I wound up going back into my finances, and the bundle that I got was just over 2,000, which I know is still kind of expensive, but keep in mind, what I got was, I got the electric pump that didn't come included unless I bought that package. I also got the pedal drive system that didn't come included unless I bought that package. So for what I got, it was a little over 2,000. If you just get their Lono kayak, it's a 12'6" inflatable kayak. They'll give you paddles, and they'll give you a hand pump, and they'll give you a couple of attachments for their, what they call their rack system, which helps you hold fishing poles and stuff like that. I did do the upgrade, without the pedal system, but having the capability of the pedal system. I think is somewhere in the neighborhood of about $14.99, $1,500, something like that. But like I said, I got it for Christmas last year, and I think we bought it on Black Friday. So we got a little bit of a deal, and I went ahead and I jumped on it. It inflates very well. I will say the electric pump is kind of finicky. It's almost like I have to start off the pump with the hand pump so it gets some pressure in there. Otherwise, the electric pump doesn't seem to register and won't inflate past half a pound, which is what I was having an issue with the night that I did the first part of my review, because the sidewalls wouldn't air up, and the sidewalls wouldn't air up because the electric pump was not registering any air pressure. But once I got it above, like, I think I've been pumping them up to about 4 pounds by hand, which doesn't take a lot, and then I hook up the electric pump and it kicks right on and it airs them all the way up. A couple of things happened while we were there. I was airing it up with the electric pump, and while I was airing up the bottom, the base of it, with the electric pump, I aired up the sidewalls with my hand pump. The electric pump, or rather the bottom, the base of it, says a minimum of 10 psi up to 15 psi. It does get hot out here. I anticipate a little bit of swelling because of the heat, so the air expands. So I've been inflating it to 10 psi on the bottom. The walls I inflate to 8 psi. There is no marking on the sidewall on either side, so I'm kind of guessing. I figure a little bit less air to let it expand is probably better. So I've inflated the sidewalls to 8 psi. The back deck, it says inflate to a max of 10 psi, I think. Let me see, I've got it sitting down here. No, the back deck says a minimum of 10 psi, a maximum of 15 psi. When we were out at the river, we got everything inflated. We were putting everything back in the truck so we could take the kayaks down and launch them. And while we were putting the pumps and everything away, we heard a fairly loud pop. Ran over to the kayak to see what was going on, and the seam in my back deck, if you watch my first video, you'll see that there's a big hole for a 5-gallon cooler, and the gray strip that you see around the orange, the seam blew, so it completely deflated. I had to leave that in the truck. Now, excuse me. I was pretty disappointed. I inflated that to 8 to 10 psi. I'm pretty sure I had it at 8. I inflated it to 8. It expanded. That seam blew. It is a seam, so it looks like it was just a weak point in the kayak. But because it was the back deck and it was separate, I was still able to use the kayak. Went down the river. We were on there for probably a little over 2 hours. Handled just fine. Steering is actually really nice. I wish I'd done some GoPro work, but once the seam popped, I was more worried about making sure that everything else on the kayak was going to go fine. So I left the GoPro. Let's see. The seating position, for me, I don't necessarily like it with the inflated seat. It's too high. I actually sat in front of the seat for the majority of my ride. I actually like sitting lower. I love having the open hull, but I didn't like sitting up that high. It made you feel like you had a high center of gravity, and as well balanced as the kayak is, being that high, you still feel like there's a good possibility of tipping. I like sitting in. In this case, I didn't like sitting up that high. I bought replacement kayak seats, not necessarily for my kayak, but I was able to strap it in, and it felt a lot more comfortable because I sat just above the deck. So I like that a lot better. I got to test that out when we went up north to the lake in Payson. Woods Canyon Lake, we inflated it. I put the replacement kayak seat on. For me, 100 times better. I like the feel of it a lot better. The only thing that I didn't do when I was on the river or up north, and it's just because I didn't want to pack a bunch of extra stuff, I did not take the pedal drive system, so I have not had a chance to use it yet. I didn't put in the rudder system because that goes with the pedal drive system, so I didn't pack either one. And my other thing was I did not put the center fin in, and I feel like if I had, steering would have been even better because I feel like it would have tracked better, and I didn't. So it does have two small fins on the right and the left side. They track pretty well, but I feel like if I had that center fin in, it would have steered a lot better. So that's really my only complaint. The funny thing is, I'm actually going to show you. When we went to the river, there's a center hole for the pedal drive system, and when you have the pedal drive system in, you don't need this. So since I didn't take the pedal drive system when we were in the river, I had this, and it sits in the middle of the kayak, and it covers that hole that is where the pedal drive goes. When we went up to Woods Canyon Lake, I somehow forgot to pack this. I swore that I had it in the bag. I swore that I had it with me, and I didn't. But because this is built more like a paddleboard, and it sits on top of the water instead of sitting in the water, even without this, I was able to put the kayak on the water. I was able to pedal around all day long with my hand oars, my paddles, and I showed in the first video how it has the channels on the sides where it diverts the water and kicks out the back. So even without this thing, I couldn't flood it, I couldn't sink it. I used it, my wife used it. We had it on the lake for hours, and I mean, you can't sink it because it sits on top, so the water can't flow in, and what water does splash in gets kicked right out the back. So even with forgetting this, I was able to take it on the lake, and I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to worry about flooding the kayak. I didn't have to worry about sinking. I didn't have to worry about anything. So I mean, it's great to have it. I should have had it, and I completely forgot. but even with forgetting it, we put it on the lake for probably 2 hours the first day, and I think almost 4 hours the second day. And like I said, it, blow up the kayak. It sits on top of the water, so there's probably about that much space between the top of the inside of the kayak and where the water sits at level. No problems. Like I said, I do wish that I had put in the center fin, so I think it would have steered better. But honestly, I didn't have any problems with it. My wife actually liked my kayak more than she likes her own. So we're going to wind up getting one for her, which is fantastic. The I think the biggest thing, and I didn't know, and I should have. So when the back deck popped, we got home, and I reached out to Boat, and I explained to them what had happened, and I needed to know the process to see if there was any kind of a replacement. Because that back deck, it doesn't do a lot, but it does do some things. For one, if you put the back deck back there, when your seat, whether it be the replacement seat I got now or the inflatable seat, your seat rests up against that back deck. So if that deck's not there, now you're putting a lot more stress on the straps and where they clip into the boat to hold your seat in place. So that back deck actually does a lot of work and alleviates a lot of the pulling on the front of the boat or on the front of the kayak where your seat's clipped in. Because if you're leaning back, that's pulling on the D-rings that are in front of you. And that back deck actually supports the back of the seat so it doesn't pull on them so much. I reached out to Boat, and they actually got back with me pretty quick. Mind you, we went on a Tuesday because we were on vacation, so we had time during the day. We went on a Tuesday. I wrote the email, and they got back with me the same day. They requested a couple of pieces of information. There is basically a VIN number and they call it a crap. What do they call it? There's two different numbers. I can't remember what they refer to them as, but there's two different numbers on the bottom at the very back of the boat, or at the very back of the kayak, which identifies the kayak. They asked me to send pictures of the entire kayak. I was kind of confused on that, but they asked me to send pictures on the kayak, and then pictures of the failed area. I did that. I registered the kayak on their website. I sent the pictures, and within 48 hours at most, they had reviewed my claim for the warranty, and Boat does carry a 2-year warranty on their kayaks. So freaking awesome. I didn't know that until I actually registered everything, and that was my mistake. I wish I had known that earlier, and I mean, just it is what it is. But they carry a 2-year warranty on their kayak. I emailed them. They got back with me the same day. Within 24 to 48 hours, they had reviewed my claim, and I got an email from them saying they have sent me a replacement, and no charge. I haven't had the kayak for 2 years, so it's technically under warranty, which is great. But this was the first time I've ever taken it out, and so because we bought it last December-ish, we hadn't put it out on the water or anything, and I guess the pictures kind of helped validate that, I guess, because it wasn't all tore up, it wasn't all banged up or anything. So they sent me an email. We've sent you a replacement. please allow 5 to 7 business days. I think it took them 3, and it was replaced. Everything's all good. Absolutely phenomenal, easy to talk to. My only thing was they wanted all these pictures, and I don't know if it's a setting on my phone or what, but I tried to send them all the pictures at once, and it kept on saying files too big, so they couldn't send the message. Or they couldn't send the email. So I literally had to send 1 to 2 pictures at a time to show them the whole thing, to show them the full kayak and the area that was damaged, and a close-up picture of the area that was damaged. That was honestly the most frustrating part, was not being able to send everything all at once. I had to send them email after email after email just so I could send all the pictures to them to show them what was going on. But the fact that after I sent them the pictures, they were literally 24 to 48 hours, and then after that, they had told me they had sent a replacement. Like, these guys, to me, they take a lot of pride in what they do. I mean, they take a lot of pride in their product. And like, I honestly, I couldn't be happier. For them to send the replacement, absolutely phenomenal. For them to send it so quickly, even better. They put a 2-year warranty on their kayaks. I'm sure they probably carry warranties the same or very similar to their other products. They do paddle boards, they do skiffs, they do. There's this one called I think it's called an Arrow. It's basically a little 1-person boat. They do a 2-person version of it too. It's not quite like a kayak. It's not quite like a canoe either. So I don't know how to really classify it, but they've actually got a lot of cool products on there. I like what they put out, which is why I bought it to begin with. I wanted to try something that was different. The cool thing, the best thing, is because they give you this big, it's a big bag, but the kayak goes in there. So when you deflate it, you roll it up, you put it in the bag, and so now I don't have to worry about my kayak sticking out of the back of the truck unless I decide not to deflate it when we get done. But what's the point? If I can deflate it and throw it in the bag, then why not? The way that we're looking at it now is we've got it to where we can roll it up in the bag pretty easily, and it fits well, and it just packs away. We don't have to go back and forth because we don't have 2 trucks. We have a car, we have a truck. So what we were doing is the truck would take the kayaks to the top, we'd drop the car down at the bottom, but then because the kayaks don't fit in the car, we would have to drive back up to the top, pick up the truck, bring the truck down, load up the kayaks, go back to the top to pick up the car, then drive back down and go home. So it was a lot of back and forth, a lot of up and down for a lot of wasted gas and wasted time. Now that we have this one, and we're gonna buy my wife one, once we get done, we deflate them, we can put them in the trunk of the car, drive back up to get the truck, and then just go straight home. It wasn't back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's a lot simpler. I know they're $2,000. You can buy, which one is it? So the one that I got was the Lono. I'm gonna look real quick. I'm gonna help you guys do some research. That way what I'm saying is accurate and what you guys are looking at is accurate. Let's see, kayaks. And they do, let's see, dang it. So they do paddle boards, they do kayaks, they do what are considered hybrids. They do floats, and the floats are cool. The floats they sell at Costco. Some of them are like a quarter circle that just sits on the water, and you guys can sit and do whatever you want. They do have like floating chairs, which are they're actually pretty cool. if you check out boatboard.com, the arsenal that they have of products is insane. But for the kayaks, this is what I'm looking at. And so they have one called the Zeppelin. Hopefully this will focus. So that's the, there it goes. So that's the 10-foot. You sit on top of it. It does kind of have a little bit of a hull around it. To me, it's like just a floating canoe. They have the Lono, which is the one I got, which is, I don't know if they have the Bug Slinger model out. So, there we go. So the Bug Slinger is sold out, but that's the one that I've got. Again, I don't like that chair. I don't like how high it sits up. So I'm replacing that with a standard chair. The package right now for that one is $2,300. I don't think I paid that much. I think I paid a little bit less because it was Black Friday. So that was kind of my benefit. And then that one, the Bug Slinger, they have like 3 different models. The Bug Slinger, or not models, but they have like different skins for the kayaks. I got the Bug Slinger. There's the one called the Cypress, and what's the other one? Oh, the Silver King. Then the other one is, these are the 12'6". The other one is called the Deuce. Same skins and everything. They don't have the ability to put in the pedal drive, but they're still, it's an 11-foot kayak, so it's a little bit smaller. Honestly, I probably would have been just fine with this one. The Deuce, the 11-foot kayak, is $999, so about half the price of what I paid, but probably about double what you'll get for a good kayak at Walmart. And then the Zeppelin is a 10-foot, but it's not a kayak. It's kind of, I guess, what you'd call a hybrid between like a river raft and a kayak, kind of combined. I like the Lono. It is big at 12'6", but I'm more than happy with it. If you guys are interested, boatboard.com. Like I said, I really wish I had done some GoPro work with it. That way you guys could see what it looked like and everything. I might do something on it later, but after the back deck blew out, I was more worried about the kayak itself than doing video work. So based on what I've gotten out of it, I really do enjoy it. I got the replacement from them, which is absolutely fantastic. No real hassles on that one. I love the thing, and if you guys are interested in some kind of a different kayak or something that's more portable than, you know, having to have a truck. I mean, honestly, if we had 2 cars, this would still work, because we could still get them in the car and get them to and from both places without an issue. I love this thing. Was it expensive? Yes. Do I think it's worth the money now? Absolutely. So I think that's all I've got. I hope this was informative enough for you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Yeah, we'll find something new to review soon. But I've actually been waiting on reviewing this one since last year. So I guess that's all I got now. So we'll see you later. Bye.